Hello, my little gamers and my little loves. Welcome back to another Easy Ease stream. That's right, we have non-copyright jazz music this time. It's exciting. Everything's going crazy. We have two challenges to review today. And if you're like, hold on, I just joined a random stream from the Ravi Kids. What the heck's going on here? Well, Austin's gonna tell you exactly what's going on here right now. Austin, ready? 3, 2, 1, go tell them.
Easyease.co. It's a cool thing. You should sign up now. It's an open beta. It's free. Basically, what you can do on there is join design and animation challenges to compete against your design friends and foes. We've done 2 challenges that we reviewed last week, and then we have 2 more that we're reviewing today. So, gotta say, they fill up pretty quick. There are currently a couple slots on the next 2 challenges that we've got. Easyease.co, sign up if you haven't already. But we got a bunch of y'all hanging out in the chat that are also from here. So we gonna get into your submissions. Don't worry, it's gonna be a fun time. Easyease.co, sign up.
Look at all these people.
And follow on socials in the description and such. Was that good?
That was beautiful.
Fine.
And that
was really good.
That's fine. We got the whole team here today, ladies and gentlemen. All 600 of us.
6,000.
I'm going to view all submissions. And I'm going to sort. First, let's go through some design ones real quick. And by real quick, I mean at a medium pace. Which one is
At a medium pace. We will be reviewing today at a lukewarm speed. It's going to be great.
At a lukewarm speed. I'm gonna load some more submissions. Here we go. Here we go. Look at all these submissions. Oh my god, there's mine. Y'all, check it out. I gotta open these in new tabs so that you can.
The top one.
You can see them so good.
For anyone who didn't participate in these challenges, here are the 2 we're going through today. We're gonna start with MYKEA, which is a play on words of IKEA. We decided to have everybody make an inspired poster based on their favorite piece of furniture. You'll see some lamps, some chairs, and whatnot. We're going to start with that challenge. Then we're going to go through the submissions for Bright, which was a sound effects inspired animation challenge where we had a professional sound design studio create some sound effects for us and give them to you guys to see how you interpreted them. But we're going to start with MYKEA. And this is Noah's little guy, Noah's little poster friend.
My little poster
it was cool.
friend. It's pretty cool. My computer's being a little slow. But we have, it's because I opened 100 images in new tabs. We have a couple. So this was mine. It didn't get graded because they hate me, I guess.
Yeah, we do. We do.
But
I mean, it's just the worst. It's just the worst one.
It's the worst. And I hate how there is color. I think there shouldn't have been any of that.
I agree.
First up, we have catnap. This one makes me laugh. Laugh? This one makes me laugh.
This one makes you laugh. Please.
This one makes me laugh like a cat drinking milk.
God.
This little cat got a couple points, but it's kind of clearly AI generated, I think. So if y'all could not do that, that'd be sick.
That'd be really swell.
On to the next one. We're going fast. We're moving up the ranks. Next, we got mood. Look at this cute little lamp. I think that's adorable. Is it mood lighting or is it like a lava lamp type of vibe? I don't know. Up to interpretation. I think it's mood lighting though. This little guy has some texture on the edges.
To agree.
Yeah.
What'd this guy get?
This guy got a 3 on the leaderboard today. Our main feedback
15.
was colors. We thought that the colors were a little harsh together at times. There were also some instances of you can really see it in those orange to yellow gradients, the banding there.
I was just about to say that.
There's kind of like haze around some of the objects, and it's all kind of slightly off center, just barely. But those are some of our main pieces of feedback that we'd probably suggest working on.
Next
It
one.
is. I would. Oh.
Oh, sorry. We're keeping going. We're fast. What did you want to say though?
I was going to say it would probably be good if you reduced it down by 1 color, and then it would force you to kind of think about where you use certain colors a bit more.
True. That one was from Moogie, by the way, with the 3 points.
Well, what's this one from?
This one is from Fadil.
I don't
The
think
red
that's
chair.
the right resolution. Looks a little bit too squat. So
It is.
be careful that it's the right resolution. They're in the descriptions of all the challenges. So check it out, dude. All right. We got the red chair. We got some texture going on, but not really on the white as much, which makes me a little sad, personally. We got a little bit of some inconsistent use of strokes, like just on this little chair and nowhere else. It's a fun composition and a neat little font. I like that it says "Don't sit down." Contrary to what you might do in a chair. What'd this one get, Austin?
This one got a total of 4 points on the leaderboard today. One note that we all had was the kind of the shadow around that inner lip part just kind of made everything feel a little dark, a little murky, more than we thought it might. I think the main reason for that is it seems like the texture, like Noah said, kind of stops on the white. And if you zoom in, you'll see that shadow there seems to just be like a feathered mask of the texture, which doesn't quite feel like it just doesn't quite feel like it makes as much sense why the shadow itself would be textured the same as the material. But we did all like the fun font, and we did think that the E's looked like kind of sad little guys, which we thought was fun.
Like blackfish, but that's a good thing.
Sad guy with big nose.
Sad guy, big nose. Sad guy, big nose. What's that guy doing over here? Get out of here.
But thank you, Fadil, for submitting.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Keep it up. Next up, we got timeless design, or timeless den. If you're bad at reading, can't quite figure out those middle word letters. Oh boy. An unmatched comfort. You know, I had carpentry when I was in high school, and we had similar stools to this, and I'm gonna have to disagree with unmatched comfort. Maybe I'll agree in the way that it's unmatched how uncomfortable these garbage little stub toey chairs are, but I don't know if it's that comfortable, y'all. I do like how spinny they are, though.
It works as a chair. That is a bonus.
It does.
Is that
You can sit
on it. You can't say that
this
for
one
everyone.
get though? I wonder.
This one got a 5 on the leaderboard today. 5 points for Chemix. 5 points for Chemix on timeless design. The main thing we were hoping for here, we thought the type layout was pretty nice. The sizing was good on each of the pieces of type as well. But the main beauty things that we liked were mainly to do with the photo, which we originally thought was a 3D render, but we then found the photo, as they gave credit to in the bottom, and more of the poster was that photo than we anticipated. So I think there might have been some other ways to just add your own touches to this as a poster a little bit more than just the type. But that was our main piece of feedback. What else do we have? Anybody want to say some notes about the color and the contrast particularly?
I personally like it that way. I do like muted stuff more, but
I don't think it was
about
an intentional choice, is what I will say. I think we're going for the IKEA colors, and I like that. But you could have been a little bit more bold and a little bit more in your face. Also, it looks to me, and I don't know if I'm crazy.
I think I know what you're gonna say.
I'm pretty sure these two blues are different.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Oh, they are.
I just noticed as well.
And the
Yeah,
one on the side is too.
So check your blues, dog. Check them.
Huh.
Blues.
maybe that was intentional.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
If it is, I wonder why.
I
Yeah.
do too. I do too. That was that.
Make sure you don't miss one that was just kind of like snuck in there. There you go. That one. Yeah.
This one was just kind of snuck in here. So I'm gonna
you should probably open that one.
in a new tab. I'm also gonna, while we're doing it, I'm gonna open just a couple more real quick in new tabs, because new tabs are
the future.
tabs.
Way better than old
tabs.
ones.
This one's pretty cool. I like this one. But you can't see it because I just opened it in a new tab. You just wait, guys.
That's right.
You just wait. Give me 1 second. Last one. Here we go. And look
Oh,
at
it's
these
so
new
quick.
tabs
That's
I
crazy.
have. Oh my god. Oh my god. So that one's the one we just did. Here's another one. It's a lamp.
It's a lamp.
It's got no type. Makes me a
No
little
type.
sad. No type. it's just lamp. Just pure lamp. I think you could have done a little more here, is what I'm gonna say. Just a tiny bit more. I don't mind the shape. The composition's nice. It's central. It's cute. Colors aren't bad. I have no real beef with a lot of it, but saying that, I also don't have a whole lot of like ooh in this one. It's just kind of is. What did this one get?
This one got a 4 on the leaderboard today, and that was the main piece of feedback. We just thought that there could have been a little bit more added to the poster, particularly typography. So that was our main note. Fun little lamp, though. Fun little lamp guy.
Just a quick note, though. The light source should always be the brightest spot, because right there, I think the bulb is darker than the inside of the lamp.
But I do understand why they might not have done that, because if they made that white, well, actually, I guess it could have worked.
Yeah, could have a gradient inside.
White,
yeah,
as an accent.
Yeah,
or a highlight.
Next poster. Here we go. Y'all, we're moving up the ranks. We got another lamp. Y'all love to do lamps.
Lamp.
It seems.
Lamps
I
are
get
cool.
that.
They love lamp.
I also do love lamps, and if I was faced with the choice of making a lamp or a thing to sit on, like a complex chair with all those legs and all those geometries and perhaps soft materials, I'm going with lamp 100% of the time. So I get it. That being said, what did this one get, Austin?
This one got a 5. Anybody want to say why? I don't want to know, to just be
Austin did have to explain the meaning of this to all of us individually multiple times.
That's true.
That's true.
I do think we came in a little bit more favor of it whenever we understood like the kind of play on the idea of like Kelvin and how it relates to like warm lights and cool lights. But I'm gonna be honest, as I'm talking now, I can't remember the exact kind of funny thing that it's trying to get across, which I unfortunately feel like impacted a tiny bit, but
yeah,
I believe it's referring to the inverse relationship between temperature. When temperature gets hot, the color, when measured in Kelvin, gets colder. Like a higher temperature light, which is measured in Kelvin typically, it goes from orange to blue, whereas the temperature color itself, I guess, from orange to blue. And that kind of feels like inverse. And so we think that it's talking about that.
Yeah, the assumption was this got more points in creativity than the other two aspects. I did have to explain it quite a few times. But this one is from Essence of Motion, and you let me know if this is what you intended. But here's how I interpreted your little fun type here. I thought the background being pretty blue was a way to use contrast to say that like something low on the Kelvin scale for a light would be a very warm light, like very, very yellow. And so when it says when Kelvin goes wrong, I thought it was a way of being like it's going to the dark side of the Kelvin scale or something like that. So we thought that there was a fun bit of thought put into that, but this one got a 5 overall. Main notes were about contrast in your colors, as well as like the actual way that the light plays on the scene. I feel like the darkest part of the lamp probably wouldn't be like right underneath where the light is coming out of the lamp. It feels like more light is coming onto the lamp from like this side part somehow. But we did like the way that like the light ray came out of the lamp. We thought that was nice.
Yeah, the harsh shadow coming off of the side of it just doesn't make a ton of sense with the light actually coming down onto it, unless there's another brighter light outside of the scene. But no, I mean we did focus on the fact that like if you look just under the lamp, the actual light rays coming out of it feel pretty natural, which is nice.
Yeah. Also, just an overall note for everyone: if you guys have any Easter eggs or any like notes you have about your work, make sure to have them in the comments so we can actually understand what's going on, because it's much more impressive that way.
It's true. That does help. Okay, next.
Essence of Motion said, "Yep, that's what I intended."
Oh my gosh!
Oh, nice. Let's go.
Hey, bro. I feel like I bought you like 2 or 3 more points there than you might have had otherwise.
The team was just a little too dense to understand it, unfortunately.
Where are my Kelvin fans at? You know,
Yeah.
clearly I'm alone in my Kelvin fandom on the team.
Hey, I got it.
I'm here for you, Essence of Motion. Anyway,
All right, gamers, we got to
this
go
one is from Anshed.
a little quicker because we got so many submissions. We're going through from bottom to top on the design, and then we're going to jump over to animation. So stay tuned if you have animation interests or stuff that you submitted there. This one's from who?
This one is from Anshed, and don't worry if we don't get a ton of feedback out to you specifically on your submission in the stream, because we will have written feedback on your submission on the site as well.
Yeah, so don't forget to check back in while you're submitting to other challenges. Okay, what did this one get?
This one got a 5.
I like the glare thing happening here. I think that's the strongest thing in the poster. But tell me more, real quick, just real quick.
I think it's a nice color palette, personally.
It's a really nice color. I was gonna say the number one thing that sort of bugs me a bit is the lighting on that bottom part of the bulb. We've kind of got that same situation where with the last poster, you've got a light that sort of feels like it's in the distance and coming on from the side, when actually that light would be casting more of a light down on that guy. So it's worth having a bright point and then kind of fading that down. If that gradient was maybe reversed and then even more intense, so you just kind of felt that a little bit more, that would be really nice. I also think you could be a little bit more exciting with the text. I think you could probably, if you had some big text behind that was kind of maybe getting refracted by the bulb glass, would be so nice to have that kind of thing and have like big text, big confident text behind it. That would feel really good.
Really cool.
Yeah, and I think I like the idea of bulbs out ideas too, but I think maybe there's I want to say if the bulb's out, then is the light on? But I don't know if that's too much to go into. But I get the smash.
That.
You know.
A quick thing, if you're in the chat, is that Clash display? I think that's the font that he used. He used that font a lot.
I think so.
And second of all, just like a little minor note, light bulbs can be furniture, but they're not typically. So
Yeah.
think a little harder about the prompt.
Yeah,
It's just the light
I thought
bulb.
that also.
Someone did do an appliance, which I would say is a lot more furniture than a light bulb.
I
Even
agree.
though it's an integral part of lamps. Anyway, next poster. Good work. Thank you for submitting. This one's a real IKEA guy. He committed to the bid on this one. The Blesa. He had a little funny because it's an inflatable chair. Blow me.
Put a blow me on there.
It's pretty good. That's a
you do.
pretty funny joke. I think,
Wow.
but I think you could have committed to that actually harder. I think you could have
Yeah.
really gone down.
The balloon hole, you know.
You could have
as
gone
it were.
down on the blow me. You know what I mean? You could have really
Whoa, okay.
locked that one in. Maybe even
so
something
much for the
subtle.
non-copyright jazz music. We're still demonetized. This is great.
You're welcome. Just
this
something
one is
subtle.
from-
Maybe even like a little lipstick on it, and something silly like that. You know what I mean?
This one is from Danimated and got a 7 on the leaderboard today. We also mainly took off points because we had thought that the chair was a 3D render at first, but then we did find it as like
We'd hoped.
one of the top results when we looked up inflated chair. So, and that's not necessarily docking it. Like it's fine to use images, but we might have given it more technical points if it was,
I was gonna say that,
a
yeah.
render.
I do think just following off of Noah, like if ever a big fan of like if something's intentional, generally in a composition you do it twice at least. So sort of following off of what Noah said, if we're going down the kind of the blow me thing, it'll be good. But do just have a second thing in there at least. And if we're ever using a color, have it at least twice, just so it feels intentional. You've got one statement of blow me, there's not really a second follow-up of that, and then you've got one hit of pink. So if there was another bit of pink or the chair, if you hue shifted it to blue, that would have felt really intentional. But you've kind of got two instances where there's one thing of something and it instantly makes it feel unintentional. So
Agreed.
Used Futura, I think.
Yep.
I love Futura.
There also is a note
I
that
do
says,
too.
please
A
note
white
that
on
the,
yellow.
Yeah, the contrast
That's a
isn't
good point.
super great.
Please note that the translation on this poster was sourced from the internet and may contain inaccuracies. We apologize for any errors or misunderstanding caused. Referencing the blow me, I assume, which is a nice little touch. So, and you did the MYKEA logo, which I think is pretty
I thought
funny.
that was fun also.
Yeah.
There you go.
it is good. It
Cool.
looks good.
Next poster. Thank you for submitting, my
Fantastic.
boy. Love you. All right.
Thank you.
Animated.
We got another MYKEA. This one.
We
This
sure
one's a
do.
little stylish. This one's a little
A little
cute.
stylish.
Style meets comfort redefined.
Mm-hmm. This
What'd
one
we
was
get?
from Visual Bliss and got another 7 on the leaderboard today.
Is
I
it
know where our
right that
main beast
he
lies.
did the render?
We believe so, yes.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Which got us some good
Appreciate-
technical points.
Shout out to the shadow. Nice stuff going on
Mhm.
there. The big light coming in from the window. What did we take off points for aside from these things not aligning with this? Because that
Type.
makes me
Type.
mad.
Type.
It is a random
Different
side.
fonts everywhere.
Different fonts, different colors, like contrast not super great on the MYKEA up top. It's kind of competing
Yeah.
with the grays that it gets into there. Each instance of font is also different, like where each piece of text is. There's like 3 or maybe 4 fonts in this poster. But I think hierarchically, the text on the top right and bottom left is a relatively similar size to the bottom one, and so it kind of makes it feel like it has enough importance to make me want to like have to turn my head to read
Mhm.
both of them, you know.
Oh.
And then even when I turn my head on this one, it's not the same. It's like somehow the same direction as the other one was on the other side. So
Oh yeah.
it's
It's a
just
little
like a
confusing.
little confusing, and it just doesn't quite feel super
Yeah.
necessary to have those do that. I feel like you could have just put those at the bottom.
I have a really, it just came to me actually, like a really nice idea to elevate this. Obviously, it's about furniture. We've got a lot of furniture going on, but just as Noah mentioned that shadow, I sort of thought of an opportunity to make this really interesting. Was if we take away sort of like the MYKEA text and focus it on let's say the chair, but then use that shadow as a way of highlighting that chair. So we kind of, rather than just having a shadow that casts across everything and we sort of just see a room, really honing in on that chair by maybe sort of directing that shadow so that we've got we almost frame the chair within a bit of light. That would be really nice to kind of stylize that. Maybe you zoom in on the chair a bit more and then have chair text, whatever you do, alongside all the alignment stuff. But I think when you've got a 3D render like this and you are doing 3D renders, like there's such an opportunity there to then elevate the fact it is a 3D render that is purposefully done for this.
Mhm.
So just having something that says like, look, this is even more bespoke, like that would really warm me up inside. So I would like to see something like that.
Oh, that's funny.
Everybody wants to warm up Will.
There you go.
It's
Everybody
a
wants
common
that.
reaction to
It's cold in the
my
UK.
presence.
Thank you for submitting. I have,
Yeah.
guys, I prepared. Don't you worry.
He's prepared.
Look at all these other posters.
He's prepared.
And
Let's
look at all these tabs. Look at all
go.
these tabs we got.
Oh, let's go.
This is all the
He's
rest of
ready.
the posters. We have about an hour
Amazing.
left, so
We're gonna let's roll on through.
It's zoomy time.
Run it.
This one is from Chloe Jordan and got a 7 on the leaderboard as well. Shiatsu massage chair.
Shiatsu
Yeah.
massage chair. Some nice
We-
colors
pretty
going
back
on.
and forth
I
on
like
this
it. Check your legibility on a lot of this stuff. You've got a lot of interesting elements, but I don't think that they mesh super duper well together. So try and push them together stylistically. Some fun fonts you're using because they're my fonts. So thank you for submitting. I like it. It's kind of cute.
I would say a big part of this would be the typography and making sure that the typography is aligned, feels, rather than like cramming so much in. There's like maybe 1 or 2 too many bits of text in here. I think if you really honed in and made it feel like this text is doing this thing, this text is doing this thing, rather than just like, here's a bit of white space, let me fill it with text. Just making sure that it just feels a bit more compositionally rigid, I suppose is the word. And then also making sure that alignments and margins are super consistent, because what we've got here is for those sort of really nice elements, which I think are the chakras, if I'm not wrong. Someone help me out.
I believe.
They're
Don't
closer
have
to the top than they are far away from the side, so it's kind of like creates this awkward, like a designer eye might look at that and say maybe that's a little bit unintentional, they've just been kind of thrown in there. But if they felt really squared off to the edge and then text was following that as well, you'd sort of think, okay, this is really nicely framed.
Thank you for submitting.
Also, I like the exhale, how it's like expanding, but I think it would make more sense to make the inhale with that
Oh, yeah.
spacing, because
It's
like
true.
when you inhale, your lungs expand, so that makes more sense.
Yeah.
But
Exposer.
Mm,
Good
good
stuff,
job.
y'all. This one is by someone
Shabir.
that's not
This one
Joseph
is
Alvarez.
this one is by Shabir.
This one's by Shabir.
Um,
Oh,
This
what's
one
up,
got a
Shabir?
7 as well.
Shabir submitted one of the last ones too.
Shabir won the last poster challenge, actually.
Damn.
I really liked this one.
Jackson
I'll
really
be
liked
honest
this
with
one.
you.
Jackson, tell me about it.
I did. At first, we were like, "Oh, there's no furniture on here," and then we actually read it and realized that it's related, to, from what I recall, a Bauhaus designer and the colors that they use to design their furniture and such. Correct me if I'm wrong. It unfortunately I think lost a few points because in a challenge about furniture, it's just the first glance and the initial feeling you get is pretty far from that. But it still is very Bauhaus, and I think looks super super clean, even if doesn't scream MYKEA in a sense. So
Yeah.
It would be really nice to kind of have maybe the pieces of furniture that he's designed kind of coming up out of each square. Like maybe there's an opportunity to put some use those squares as framing the different bits of furniture that he's got or something like that. But
would that really be Bauhaus, Will?
I can't comment on such a thing. I do apologize.
Could be.
I think this is more where we docked points on this one. It's nicely designed. It's nicely laid out, I don't think there's any questions about that. However, I think there may have been ways to get across what you put in the text in the design itself, that would have made it so that you could have gotten the concept without having to read that whole thing, I think that's where we were at.
I think you could have just pushed it. TBH with you. Bauhaus has many a shape to choose from. You chose square and square alone. It makes all the other shapes lonely, you see. Good job, though. I really like it. And very thoughtful. Thank you
Nice
for
color
submitting. Next poster. Oh
Cool.
my god, it's a
Um,
1977 Atolo table lamp designed by Vico Majorin.
This
love
one
it.
is from Kino and got an 8 on the leaderboard today.
This one got an 8. These are some minimalistic colors and a nice little texture treatment that you did here. I like it.
Mhm.
I wish the texture existed a little bit more on the type as well,
Same.
I was about to say that.
but still, it's some nice grain and some interesting vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Super cool choice of a lamp too. Very
I almost think-
actually unique.
Yeah. I almost think there's an opportunity to lean into these really interesting shapes. You've got these really bold, confident shapes going on with the lamp itself. It would be really nice to see the text maybe follow that. So maybe, this is an idea, but maybe you could follow that circle with the text as well.
That could be
Fit
cool.
in. If you've got that triangle coming down, you could fit the 1970s. Imagine if that triangle continued to the floor or continued to that lower margin. You could fit the 1977 inside of that triangle. There's a really great opportunity to fit text amongst the shape that feels
It's very,
like
very
it's
true.
within the thing rather than just slapping it on top of a really sort of beautiful shape. There's this really nice shape and we've gone for the simplest sort of option of doing the text. So that's my qualms with this one.
I think that's a very good piece of feedback.
Agreed.
Consider your edges. It's not a straight line. All right. Good stuff. This
Thank
one
you,
got
Kino.
8, 9. What do you get?
This one got
Eight.
an 8.
This one got an 8.
Next
Good
up, we've
stuff.
got one from Xian. We thought this
Yeah.
one was
Really?
really
This
fun.
one has a special place in my heart.
This one also
Side
got an
table.
8. And Side Table Chick is just as funny as Blow Me to me. That was just a fun
I
little
agree.
addition to the type, I thought. Also, thank you for picking an interesting and unique piece of furniture. This thing does actually exist, by the way. We didn't know that. We thought that they had completely made this up, but then we did find it online. But that's crazy that you even knew this existed, you know?
It's
It's
really nice.
It's really cute.
I think that it could have been. You kind of shoot the illusion of the ground plane here with your shadow by putting some blurred stuff in the background, and I think it's really powerful. Perhaps without some of the blurred stuff in the background, even though I like the variation in color. So I don't have a solution for it, but I do have a qualm with it. There you
There
go.
may have been a way to have different ways of illustrating the table itself rather than taking that same illustration and just rotating it as you copied it across those other ones. I think that's mainly what disrupts the illusion for me, is I can kind of just, they just look like copies, so it doesn't really work with the perspective that you're creating here otherwise.
All right. Good stuff.
Cool.
Good
That one
stuff.
got Nate.
Nice colors.
Yeah.
Next we have a Motion Ninja submission.
Let's go.
This one got
We have
Nate.
cats.
Look at all those cats.
That dog is so me.
I love the guy's hand.
I'm the rabbit.
Looks like a spider.
Yeah.
It does. It does. Real quick, binkies go the other direction.
I called that out. I have a child that's like.
Unless
He
that's
has
his
proof.
lips and he's like blowing a little bubble or has a light bulb in his mouth, it goes the other way.
That's funny.
The characters do have a lot of life. That dog
do.
feels like right out of a cartoon, which is great.
Sure he does.
Yeah, it's fun. I like that one of the cats is like, most of the cats are really scared, but one of them's just straight up enjoying it.
The colors are really, really Motion Ninja, and that's kind of because obviously maybe there's a bit of bias here because we know the guy who submitted this, we know his work, but he does like there's this kind of color scheme is a very common thing. So what I would love to see, and I hope Motion Ninja is watching, but what I would love to see from you is more sort of exploring colors that maybe limit you rather than, you know, like we said to the other one, there's a lot of colors here where you need the colors. But if you said, I've only got 3 colors, it forces you to think about where the colors go. And it probably forces you to think about composition and what overlaps and what doesn't. And I think that would be really interesting to see. Gradients, we never see gradients from Motion Ninja, so I would love to see how you work with gradients. And yeah, but apart from that, like one of the really nice things about this is there's a lot of life in this poster. There's a lot of, you can
There's good
feel the
emotion.
movement, a good emotion. It's nice.
Yeah.
Especially that top left cat is making me laugh.
I like the right cat.
Yeah, the top right one is my favorite.
Yeah.
We I think what Will's getting at is just maybe less shades, you know? Give yourself the opportunity to do things a little bit higher contrast. But that's also just, if this is your design style, it's your design style, you know? Like, you can take that with a grain of salt. I think we mainly wanted a little bit more emphasis on the furniture here in some way. It feels like it's really heavily carried by, like, funny animal, you know? But that's not necessarily the prompt, you know? And then in addition to that, some type similar to the lamp we looked at earlier would have been nice.
Could be nice. Good job. I like this one. I would put it
Thank
in
you.
a room somewhere. If I were to have
Perhaps
it.
one with cats,
in a
if you
room
were to have it.
to put it in. Here we go. Worth its weight in
Yeah.
gold. This one's quite nice. I do enjoy a little bit of minimalism.
This
I
one
think-
got a 9 and was made by Gmograph.
Shout out Gmograph. You could have done a little bit more interesting choices in font pairing. I additionally think that the light background could be a dark background, and it might be a little bit more interesting if you can only see the light parts of the stool, because it's darn interesting. It would be darn interesting to just only kind of see an image silhouetted or exposed by partial lighting. That being said, I know that he did do the render, and that is a beautiful little render. So good
Yeah.
job there. It does look like it is made out of gold. It does look like it is cast, and it is sexy.
I love it.
I do agree.
Cool.
Beautiful. What this one get?
This one got a 9.
Good job.
I'll do the name and the score at the top for each one.
I know. I just forget. I want to know. So good job. Thank you for submitting. I want to see more of your work. I want to see it evolve. Next poster. I like
This
lamp.
one is by Buzzy. It got a 9.
So we got a 9. So look at that. Look at that little shine.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's a
Yummy.
good looking lamp.
Barber, do you have anything to
Green's
say
my
about
favorite
this one?
color, so I appreciate it.
I like lamp.
Okay.
I like
Yeah.
lamp.
Thank
I like
you.
lamp, what can I say?
Some nice little gradients here. They illustrate the shape of the lamp well. They tell a good story lighting wise. I think you could have pushed it with a little bit more type, with a little bit more intrigue in some ways, but overall it's a very solid illustration and a nice
Agreed.
composition.
Yep. We thought it was pretty
Yep.
similar to the lamp earlier, but this one did have some type and was a little bit prettier, and the composition was a little bit less straightforward in like a good way. It felt a little bit more bespoke.
It's got movement, baby.
My only thing here would be just to watch those colors in the bottom. Towards the edge of that thing, we kind of see, I think it's a banding thing, I'm not sure what it is, but you can definitely see the line of that glow
Yeah.
coming out, and then just be careful with the yellow to green gradient like that, because you do get this kind of messy middle.
Messy.
And no,
Messy,
you have a
messy.
tutorial to fix that?
It sure
You
does.
bet I do.
Bet he
You bet I
does.
do. It's on my Instagram.
But it's good. Nice work.
All right, gamers. Next poster. This one's
This
so
is-
cute. Oh my god.
Hajime and got a 9.
This one's so Japanese illustration, and I absolutely adore the vibe of it. It's got a good energy to it. I could live in that room. It says, without summer, a fan loses its fan. And then,
think it's
presumably
fun.
something in Japanese.
I think a fan loses its fun.
Oh, loses its fun.
Hopefully the fan doesn't lose its fan.
But
I'm a
like,
big fan of the fan.
Yeah.
that would also make sense, because like, maybe you have 2 fans in the summer, 1 in the winter. And it's like, its friend is no longer there. It loses its fan.
I also don't have. They're in the chat right now saying that they were worried. Well, they were worried about it being an appliance when they submitted. They didn't realize till afterwards. I would consider this a piece of furniture. So,
I don't see why
know.
not.
I think this is fine.
Yeah.
I kind of
Yeah.
draw the line at like, is it on the ground and does it have a stand or something, or is it like on another piece of furniture, and then that's fine. Like a
Yeah.
light bulb or something wouldn't really feel like that to me, especially if it's like hanging from the ceiling necessarily. But I think this is fun as furniture.
I think the main thing that kind of docked it was some of the use of text in areas
Yeah.
like that. That bottom right text is just so squeezed down in there, and it's a super thin font, so it's a little bit illegible. But the actual like setting of the piece and the composition is really unique, and there's some thought put into it. So we appreciated that.
Yeah,
Yep.
it just doesn't match the other type as much.
Precisely. Very cute stuff. I love it. Good job.
Cool.
Thank you for submitting.
Thank you. This one was by Norman Caribbean and got a 9 as well.
A lot of 9s
I
today.
like this one.
Jackson
Jackson.
really likes this one.
I did.
Same.
We had talked about which ones, if we were going to print out and put a poster on the wall, which ones would you do? And this one won it for me. I think this one is super cool. That being said,
I got a little bit of feedback for you, baby girl.
Yeah.
Your text is feeling very unorganized right now. There's a lot of misalignments. Nothing is really left aligned with each other. It's just feeling a little messy in some areas. You have some interesting bits. I really like the halftone texture going on here. I like a little bit of overlap. I like a little bit of this like overprint screen printing feeling, although you didn't really commit to either of them, having them only be this very subtle little thing. It could be nice to push that a little further. Some other little things like this touching the corner doesn't quite feel consistent with the rest of the text and makes the T feel off balance, and etc. Anything else?
Yes.
Austin?
I like the texture. I like the PNG effect, black and white-ish, grayish.
Mhm.
And the dotted background is nice.
I do.
Yeah. This would really benefit from some good margins. You've got text in the top right that sits to a close margin. The T doesn't; it just sits to the edge, and then the MYKEA logo at the bottom sits to like dot and a half in. So it's like, you know, if you solidified this with a real nice grid and sat that text on a grid and got confident with the overlaps and things like that, I think this would really benefit. One thing that's like just funny to me is that it's styled as if it's like an EDM poster, and then it's like
I thought that too.
about sleeping.
Wake-
so-
Wake up feeling rested. You know, it's like
Yeah.
got a lot of energy for what it is. You know.
Yeah.
It's a little tough to read. So just check on your organization. I like it. Jackson really likes it. So you're doing something right.
I did.
Keep going.
No, I think your camera's frozen.
Yeah.
Well, what
no,
if I
it's-
want it that way?
He does.
do.
He
Next
does.
poster.
That way.
He's
We'll fix
looking nonchalant.
Monoblock.
This one is by German BRTS. It got 10 points. We thought it was pretty funny that you picked a plastic chair.
Yeah,
it's
I
a
mean,
pretty
it's the most
unassuming
comfortable
piece
chair.
of furniture, you know?
Mhm.
I really like it because it's like we were saying when we were grading these things. The chair being this like grayscale kind of background piece of furniture and it having this kind of low contrast suits it. It's like I feel like the amount of emphasis you've put on the chair is really right because you've bang centered it. So it's like all of the focus on it is because of the composition, but then the contrast is almost funny because of how these chairs are in real life. They're kind of in the background, they blend in, maybe at a swimming pool or something.
Yeah.
So it really suits it. This is an opportunity where, or an example where low contrast makes more sense because of the context of the thing. So good job with that.
Yeah. One small note is I really like the strokes you have on the title, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to have it at the bottom one because it takes away from the title and the chair. And we kind of want, like, the main thing of this poster is the chair and the title. So the text at the bottom should probably not have like that very thick stroke on it.
There's a lot of visual weight for the body text, yeah.
There you go.
Good stuff.
Nice.
Got a 10 on the leaderboard.
Noah is
Thank you
moving
for
again.
submitting.
Look at
I'm
this.
unfrozen, guys.
He's done it.
Hooray. Oh my god, it's another plastic chair.
It's
Y'all.
more plastic chairs.
I really
This
like
one,
this
this one is really
I
cool.
love this one.
This one was
Yeah.
hand
Looks like a book
illustrated.
cover.
It does look
Hand
like a book
illustrated, very
cover.
impressive.
My favorite part, I'm gonna be straight up frank and honest and truthful with you. Well, two things real quick. First, I really like the contrast. Very confident, very nice. And other two is the contrast in style between the chairs and the shadow. I think that is beautiful and masterful and absolutely delicious. Keep up
Agreed.
the good work. That is my feedback.
I particularly love how the white plastic chair's type blends with what is drawn. You know, it feels like it bleeds into it almost. And despite looking hand drawn, well, and is hand drawn, makes it feel almost like something that would be playing on like film or something, you know, in like an old
I agree.
video or something, which is really nice. And then another thing I just really wanted to point out, just the sense of movement of the poster, of like it feels like you took a snapshot of a piece in time rather than something like just sitting there. By having those two other chairs that are like suspended in air, feels really nice and interesting.
Good job. And I like it.
This is really
What this
Just
one
be
get again?
careful with the text on the bottom. It's a little hard to read in spots.
I
It
agree.
is.
And I'd love to see some really nice spacing around it. It would just make it feel a little nice.
Same.
true.
It's also very heavily weighted to the left side. If we were to give feedback, like there's the text that's centered in the very bottom middle, which makes it feel like it should be kind of a central poster, but it's just got a lot going on that left side. We thought that the type may have been better laid out in some other way, but we liked the way that it looked and the texture in terms of how it played with the chairs. This one got a 12 and is tied with the other submission that's at 12. And you'll
Which
hear which one of
is-
them won in a second.
This one right here. One half comfy, yet exquisite. Stylish everyday chair for dining,
Oh.
working, and lounging. ST55 leather edition. I think this is funny. It's talking about a chair that's I don't think is usually leather. Pretty funny, pretty silly, pretty good. Look at these
the
little
guys. Are
guys.
really cute.
But my favorite part is that type. Oh, it's so yummy. You got
Same.
some blurs going on. It's delicious. Good job. Amazing.
It's
stuff.
really, it's just holistically very consistent in vibe. I think it really crafts a feeling, you know, which I think is
Mhm.
important. And that
Yeah.
type is delicious, you know,
It
that
is.
just feels really great. And props to you for using colors that people
It's
might usually be
wonderful.
scared
Oh
of
my
and
gosh.
making it feel good anyway, you know.
Yeah.
That's a task and a half in its own right.
Yeah, it
Anybody
looks
else?
dreamy in a good way.
Dreamy.
Um,
This is true.
Now,
This one did end up winning.
It's the winner.
They were both tied.
Let's
from
go.
IKEA.
This is our winner.
But this one is our winner.
It's your MYKEA challenge. So congratulations
Congrats.
to
Congratulations to Pablo. Nope, sorry. That's the other one. My bad.
Oops.
Oh my
Waleed
God.
Frouk. My bad. Sorry. Such a tease. That's my bad. But thank you,
Waleed.
Pablo, as well. Congrats on getting second. Really, really
Yeah.
nice piece.
Good
Waleed, well done. I'm looking forward
Yeah.
to seeing more submissions to challenges from all of y'all that submitted to MYKEA. And now we gotta book it through some bright submissions.
Let's
Yeah,
do
we'll
it.
get to
Yeah.
some price submissions. We're going back down, starting from the bottom. We're gonna zoom.
Swap
Here we
over
go.
to your animation brains. You know what I'm saying?
These posters have been a delight.
Oh, someone's a little laggy. Someone's feeling a little laggy
That's
today.
not-
That was me.
It's a little laggy.
Okie dokie.
Are we starting in a random order?
Are we?
We
Yeah, we
shouldn't.
go from.
No,
That
was
was
the.
I don't think he hit load more submissions.
Yeah, didn't.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's like
Awkward. Awkward.
You got that.
Awkward.
Yeah, we got
PowerPoint
so
one.
many. Oh my god,
I know.
guys.
I know.
That
I know.
guy. Here we go.
All right.
Here we go. That's the start.
Here we go.
I don't know
This-
how you're gonna. You gotta go full screen or
This
something. For
one's
this
hard
one.
to show.
This is why we follow the format.
It's the wrong
One
format.
submitting.
This one is from TrevMcD.art, and got a 2 on the leaderboard today.
Go goes. I don't. There it is.
Here we go.
I hope you like that sound because you're gonna be hearing it a lot.
All the time.
Follow the format more, like this. It's vertical. We make vertical stuff here on the show, so do that. Otherwise, it's cute, and my favorite part is this duck. That is adorable. Let me just get
Fun
a
little duck
good
on there.
close
The
up
duck
of
is
this
amazing.
duck. Adorable. This is really cute, and I like your color palette. So keep up the good work.
Agreed. We wanted, I think, more motion generally. This feels kind of cinematograph-esque as well. There isn't like a whole lot of anticipation for what things are going to be appearing and when. So it just feels a little frantic. Maybe find some way to tie it all together in some sort of narrative, like maybe the sun rises and you've got light sort of cascading down your different elements from that point, so you can at least kind of understand what the motion direction is going to be. But they just kind of all appear in, which feels a little strange. Stylistically, also, I might suggest focusing on like keeping things a little more consistent. You got some really sharp angles as ways of highlighting things, but then you've got some things that are more blocky. So just maybe a little bit more.
The
Decisive
only
in
round
those
thing
stylistic
in this whole
choices.
scene is the sun.
That's
So it
true.
might just be worth.
And the sun can be a square. To be
the sun
fair.
can be a square.
I don't know where my
Yeah, like in
picture
Minecraft.
went.
Have you ever played Minecraft? Oh,
Beaten
Too
to
quick, bro.
All right. Well, good job. Thank you for submitting.
Thank you.
You got some
Yeah,
points.
thank
You
you.
got some points on the leaderboard.
Points on the leaderboard.
Points on the
there we
leaderboard.
go.
Did that just open a new tab? It did not. That's okay. I know I love my new tabs, but I won't. I will refrain. Boo-doo-doo.
Go. This one was from Motion Trails and got a 4 on the leaderboard today. Anybody have any thoughts?
Real quick though.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do it. Same thing as the last one. There's not a whole lot of motion to the overall scene. I feel like we could have made the road and planet rise up a little bit as well. The motion does feel nice on those lamps that come in, but they're moving so much more than the other stuff that it also feels a little frantic.
True.
Yeah, I'd probably work on those things.
Good job.
Yep.
Thank
All
you
right,
for
we have to
submitting.
pick up the pace a little bit more now so that we can make a call we have in a second.
All right, my loves. Next one.
This one is from Rohit A and got a 4 on the leaderboard. Right. Main thoughts on this was that it says bright at the end, but it's pretty dark. So it might have been more helpful for some of those shines and things to make them full white or something. Maybe add like some sort of glow or a little glint on there with CC light rays or something to just really make it, right, because it just felt a little too dark. And the scenes we thought could have had a little bit more in them at times. It sometimes just felt like one or two elements maybe that were just kind of appearing there, where there could have been more anticipation.
Good work. You got some points on the board.
Thank you.
We're going. We're
Let's
booking
go.
it. We're literally booking
Real
it.
quick.
We're booking it. This one is from Johnny Maines and got a 5 on the leaderboard today. There's a lot of effects going on here. There's a lot of different effects. I could try and count them. I feel like it's probably like 7 or 8. We thought on a technical level, it was kind of cool and felt like it matched like a late 90s vibe. But from a viewing perspective, it also just felt kind of like, whoa, what is going on? Like we couldn't really tell a specific narrative or like understand where the motion was going to be going.
And nothing happens twice, like I was saying earlier. Like every single thing that comes in only happens once in the whole thing. So it would be nice, just a little bit more consistency throughout.
Agreed. But lots of knowledge of different effects. So there you go.
Tight. We go next.
This guy had
That's
fun.
cool.
This guy clearly had fun.
This next one is from Kenny Esterkin. It got a 5 as well. I'll give some feedback while it's playing, since we don't have a whole lot of time. This one felt a little frantic as well. Each scene, I think you might have just tried to put too many scenes into the amount of time that the sound effects had, and then a lot of time was just kind of taken up at the end by the watermark. I feel like you probably could have avoided the watermark and just taken the rest of the time to like slow down the animation a little bit. It feels a little frantic and like things are kind of snapping into place without like I don't think on our end we had much understanding of like what action was going to happen next, which you'll see in some submissions later on, which kind of helps guide your eye through the animation a little bit more, makes it feel a little more comfortable.
And naming it Brett at the end, I feel like it tries to tie it into a bit of a story, but it doesn't. At least I don't totally understand what the story is going.
I don't either.
So far. Yeah.
Egg, avocado.
Which.
There's a light bulb in there.
Yeah, lipo avocado, man.
Okay.
But I appreciate the effort going into like trying to create a narrative in it.
There's also a principle I'd want to say of just sometimes we make radial gradients on our end, and Noah will say like, "Don't let me see your gradient nipple." We're like, you don't just want to be able to see that it's a radial gradient by being able to just see the center and it being feeling kind of obvious. I'd say the same thing here with like your textures in the background. It just kind of feels like some fractal noise, you know? I feel like something more could have been done with that to not make it just look like the effect, you know? So, and that goes for some of these other submissions as well, but we got to move on to some of the other ones.
Quick PSA as I'm pulling up the next one. I know that we put names of stuff at the end, but the sound effects one isn't about the word itself or what we name it. It's really about the sound effect and your take on that. So, yeah,
True.
it's titled Bright, but it doesn't need to necessarily relate
Doesn't
to
have to be
brightness. It just needs to relate to the sound effect itself.
It can relate, and we're not going to knock it for that. Like, that's fine. But don't feel like you just have to put the word in there just to put the word in there. You know?
certainly don't have to put the word in.
We see a lot of things where it's like nothing to do with bright, and it just says bright. Like, what? It doesn't need to happen.
Here's the next
Agree.
one. Look at these particles. These little purple guys are timed up well. I think it just could have been pushed a lot further. This just feels like some particles and then 2 other elements. Additionally, I think the background texture doesn't mesh well with the other stuff. That is all of my feedback. Any last thoughts, anyone? What did this one do?
In the text
ahead.
has like a really awkward echo coming up off it, which kind of feels like a mistake, but it don't know if it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's
I don't
all
know
I
if
have
this
to
is
say.
said. It did get a 6 points.
It did get us 6 points.
Thank you,
Good.
Laurent
Good
Motion.
points. Laurent Motion, thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot to do that part.
It is kind of
All
cute.
good.
This next one that's coming up is from Anshed, and it got a 6 on the leaderboard today. Our main thoughts on this one were the consistency and the momentum of the motion. It felt like it just wasn't really followed through on. Like every time that shape hits a step, it just like kind of stops, and the momentum is just like not really there anymore. When it goes up, it just like this pedestal just kind of appears. You know, some spots have really good easing, like the pedestal coming down feels nice, and the thing in the background feels good. But in contrast to some of these other elements that need more intricate easing, those feel a little just kind of like jerky in places. Could be smoothed out.
There you go.
I agree. The diamond is pretty cool.
The diamond is cool.
Thank
The
you.
faux 3D
Yes.
diamond.
Diamond look good.
Thank you, Anshed. This next one is from Visual Bliss. It got a 6, and no, it is not because they use the Easy Use color palette. We don't ask anyone to do that. But by using the Easy Use color palette, there actually are a little bit of things that we noticed, because some things have strokes when they're filled with colors, but others don't, which is just kind of a consistency thing. The easing in some places felt a little linear, but we did like the concept of a way of interpreting the sound as a way of completing the level, which we thought was clever.
Agree.
Nice.
There you go.
Thank you,
Cool
Visual
diamond.
Bliss.
It is a good
Thank
color
Also-
palette.
When you make lots of different objects like that in one space, it's helpful to make some of them different sizes, so it feels like there's a little bit more depth, and it's less just like the same element repeated multiple times.
Yeah.
And also have them move towards, like, if the dot is moving all the way to it and it just stays still, like, sometimes it's nice just to bring the element to it, just so there's slightly less movement, like, it's very frantic.
Mm-hmm.
So it'd be nice to kind of bring the diamond towards it, just so it can kind of make its job easier and a little bit quicker.
Mm-hmm. This next one is from Essence of Motion, and it got a 7. This one also could use a little bit of work on the momentum from scene to scene. It feels like it stops and then starts again, and stops and then starts again. And then I think we kind of felt like it was a clever end shot, but we didn't really understand like how the first couple scenes got us there, you know? And so we gave it some creativity points for the ending, and especially that you're on 8G Wi-Fi or data, which is funny. But, you know, we thought that the other scenes could have connected a little bit better. And as far as contrast goes, the colors got a little muddy at times. I think you could bump up some of those brights and deepen the darks a little bit to just bump up the contrast there.
There you go.
Agree.
Good job.
Next one is from Most Serious and got 8 points. Now, we really liked this
Looks
one.
pretty.
It fell short in a couple areas, mainly on the motion side. So we think that simulation there feels really nice. But then the concept of your other shots is cool. Like, we liked the compositions, but there wasn't as much time in the sound, it seemed, to have comfortable space to view those, you know? And so it kind of just felt like, okay, now we're here, now we're here, now we're here. And there wasn't really much anticipation for those movements. But we thought the lighting was nice, cool colors. I didn't really quite understand why the beginning was all vector flat colors, but only for like a couple frames. Since it's like so short, it didn't really seem like I can see frame by frame what's happening there, but it plays so fast that you can't really see the transition or get the anticipation to transition from 2D to 3D there. But those are our thoughts, I believe.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Anybody has anything else?
I like the strokes that kind of aid the movement. That's a nice little touch.
I think it's
Yeah.
really
The
great.
individual shots looks really very
Yeah,
good.
like those frames look delicious. You know,
Yeah, they're
those
pretty
look
Really
really
well
nice.
lit. Yeah.
All right.
Did we miss one? Or no?
No, we haven't missed any yet. This next one is from Tori Dillon. He scored well in the last challenge. This one, he got an 8 on the board today. More points for Tori Dillon. We thought this one was fun in concept. We love ones that have a fun reveal sometimes, you know? And to take the sound and decide that a cow should be abducted by aliens is a crazy play, and I dig it.
dig it.
However, this one, similar note to one of the previous ones, we can kind of see the effects you're using a little easily. Like the thing on the ground just kind of looks like some turbulent display, some fractal noise there. Probably could be scaled up a little bit more in the texture so that it's not as recognizable. The moon kind of looks like just some fractal noise as well. And then I think our main thing beauty-wise was just like, you got a lot of colorama shiny stuff going on that doesn't quite feel like it mixes with some of those other things we just talked about, like the fractal noise or some of the just like flat shading on some of the other objects. And then, yeah, contrast in some of your gradients as well. You get some kind of like grayish colors in there. especially the like green to kind of brownish of the ray there. So that could use a little work.
I like that the cow rotates. I want to know why it has to go up.
We
legs.
thought it like
Oh.
bumped into it because it was too heavy, like too thick, and then it has to like get really sucked in there, you know.
Mhm.
But don't know.
Pretty
Could
fun.
be that.
It's good anticipation either way. Good job.
Thank you, Tori
You go
Dunn.
next.
Thank
This
you.
Love
next
the
one
personality.
is DDROEGE. I don't know how to say that. I apologize, but they got an 8.
Oh, this is the scary one.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that.
No,
Um,
the design choice.
The
I
eyes.
think the eyes on the Earth, to me, and I guess Will as well,
Yeah.
don't look quite as cute, and they might look a little scary compared to the one that's at the end there. I think
Yeah.
that just feels a little bit nicer. But I think it's just picking one of the eyes, you know, because you've got the 2 eyes on the planet, but you've got the 1 eye at the end, and then there's another eye to the right of the planet there that's also a different style. But I will give props to you also for taking a color palette that some people might find hard to use, and still making it feel nice. I like the like offset outlines on some of these shapes as accents. That's fun. Yeah,
Very
appreciate a little
fantastic,
hat
great
wiggle.
jazz.
we didn't quite understand the concept,
That last shot,
which
especially.
I think is where it lost a couple points. It's got some nice compositions, but we just didn't really understand what it was trying to say or what story there might be there.
It also doesn't need that pink border, I think. It might be nice if it changed
Oh, I
color
didn't
with
even
each,
notice it,
each
'cause I-
design,
Oh yeah, I just saw that now. Yeah.
I didn't even notice this one.
but it just kind of
Um,
sits there.
But thank you for submitting. This next one is from S7V.N. I got 9 points. They said 60 FPS all the way.
Mhm.
This one had some nice motion, but some of the match cuts didn't quite make a lot of sense. Like that toggle switch to there, because it's the same size circle, it looks like it just goes back for a second and kind of like
Yeah.
jolts back and forth.
This
and
more
then
than anything needs anticipation on everything, like almost every single movement.
we
But the
really
light bulb's
liked the
got that,
light bulb,
but-
though.
The light bulb's got good anticipation, but you kind of need that, especially on this switch part, because it's like we just can't. It's like, whoa, hang on, what just happened? It's a bit frantic.
Mhm.
I agree.
We this one also conceptually, it's got the light bulb in there, but we didn't really understand how the other things necessarily matched with the theme you were going for as much, which we might not have thought about as much if you hadn't put bright in big text at the end.
Yeah.
So, something to think about. But thank you for submitting. 9 points on the board for you. This next one is from Danny Boy with 9 points. Looks like they took Noah's tile tutorial, which is cool. Fun little design on those guys. The motion itself wasn't necessarily bad on this one. Some of the easing is nice, but then you've got other moments where it's not really consistent. Like when it scales down at the end there, that feels pretty linear, and then it just like cuts back to the beginning. You know,
There's a real opportunity to make it loop, and it doesn't quite.
right.
It would be nice to do that.
Mhm.
We also just thought there could be more motion in the background. It feels like you're kind of using the same set of stars each time, despite like transitioning away from it. It just gets like a little stuck, you know. But we thought the glows were nice. We thought the patterns were interesting. Would have been maybe more interesting if the patterns moved inside of there, which you could do by using like CC Collida or something like that,
Yeah.
and having shapes move around in there. But this one got a 9 on the leaderboard.
Very nice.
Thank you for submitting.
Chat, guys.
Thank you.
I feel so honored that people are using my tutorials.
This next one
There's a
is
new one
from-
coming out after this, by the way. So
Guys, and has 9 points. So I have 12 more to go through after this one.
mhm.
The little characters are fun.
I like those as
Oh,
well,
yeah.
especially the
Yeah, I
one
like
at the end.
characters a
That
lot.
guy feels fun.
There's a little bit of motion stuff that I feel like could use some work. But you know, and it's kind of quick at the beginning. It seems like the ending items are relating to like the idea of bright and lights and stuff, but the opening objects, it just kind of seemed like a random like smattering of different things that maybe somewhat relate to it, but I feel like a full commit to if I'm going to use things that relate to bright, you know, it should kind of last throughout the whole piece.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Pacing wise, this one I think that was probably what we had the most issue with on this. It's like people tell us we move stuff too fast sometimes, but like these cuts are just really fast. And I think it's supposed to be like more of a textural thing, but Jackson's right in the sense that like all of these other things seem like they're building on a theme here, and then everything in the middle just kind of feels like fun texture stuff. It just doesn't quite feel like it fits as much.
It may be
And
a
there's no,
textural
like,
thing, but it
motion
doesn't
that's
come
tying it all
across as a
together.
textural thing.
Right.
True.
So
The
careful.
little light on the hat is really nice. It's a nice little touch.
It's beautiful. It's pretty committed to the bit.
Thank you,
I like that.
guys.
Next up is by May Merlerlung
Maybe
They got-
Lung with
Maybe
9
Lung.
points.
with 9 points. I think the design of this one's really cute.
I agree. Compositionally, these are really nice.
Yeah.
It's more of like a motion note on this one, I think.
This is what I was saying about having like limited colors kind of forces you to think about where you use colors.
Mhm.
It's a nice like because of the limited amount of color, it feels nice and it feels consistent. It feels
Right.
intentional. Which
If they
is
made
nice.
these clouds solid white, then it would have taken a lot away from the hero, and they didn't. And so there you go.
Mhm.
Choices. Overall, good job. We just mostly have notes on the motion itself.
It feels a little linear at times and needs some follow through on some of those shots.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't quite feel like the motion is continued, like that stuttering in the middle. Like I get what you're trying to do with it being on the steps, but because it's so fast, it just kind of feels like it's throwing the ball around in a weird way.
Uh,
So thank you for submitting.
if
Next
there's
one.
a decision that's not working in your designs, sometimes it can be good to commit, but sometimes just switch it up a little bit. Get something that fits a little better.
This one is by Ivy Motion and got a 10 on the board.
Those particles, really neat.
Cool particles, how they act, and it's not just having the particles; it's that like they actually form this interesting thing at the end here.
They
You
have
know,
Yeah.
purpose.
they're not
I
just
like
like
the thing
there
of-
for atmosphere.
The smiley.
Yep, the
Yeah.
final frame is awesome. Like
That
really
Yeah.
feels
Really
nice.
good. Looks
The
really
glass
good.
just-
is very pretty.
I just wish
I'd
we
love
got
it.
there sooner, so we don't have
Yeah.
to look at the like kind of spiky thing for as long.
kind of looks like what you put a golf ball on.
Yeah, but like
Mhm.
backwards, you know? It just
Yeah.
doesn't match the design language of the other stuff, I don't think, you know? But we do like your shading also.
Yes.
The shaders you've got on those objects feel nice.
You get 10
Um,
points.
10 points. There you go.
Good job.
Next
Keep us
one
a
is
young,
by
creative. Oh my god, this is insane. That's lit.
Matty Rome with 10 points on the board.
Oh, this one's cool.
This one has a really fun concept
Mhm.
that really gave us a little aha. We weren't quite sure about the colors used or how they were used in that first shot. Especially, we really like the end frame. But the concept is great. I mean, it does sound kind of like a video call ringtone, and then, you know, having the more abstract way of interpreting what that could look like rather than just doing like top video, bottom video type thing, we thought was a fun, creative way of using composition there.
It's really important to
Okay.
have consistent stroke widths across the whole video, and then
Mhm.
also consistent spacing for this style. Because if you're doing this lifted stroke thing, don't bring some off to the left. Bring some of them up diagonally. Like make sure the style is the same, no matter how big the object is. It should get the same style treatment. It shouldn't. Just because an object is bigger doesn't mean the stroke needs to be thicker. The stroke should still stay that thickness. You know.
I agree. I think the only exception could be on the mouth, because a mouth should be like a different stroke, so you can really see it instead of a thin one.
Mhm.
But otherwise, I do agree with Will. It should be very consistent.
I might even argue you go for a different asset, like a half circle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that could work as well. Yeah.
Thank you for submitting, Matty Rome.
10
This
points.
job.
next
Thank you.
one is from almog.ivgi. and
Oh my
we
gosh.
got 10 on the board.
Mhm.
Now, the design on this one suffers in color and consistency and some other things, but the concept was really funny, especially because the sound is so cheerful. So just like either this guy's dead from alcohol poisoning or he's passed out or whatever. We thought it was pretty funny. And an interesting
poisoned.
interpretation of the prompt. The motion itself also isn't too bad, especially if you look at like the orange as it drops into that glass there. It like adjusts everything in the drink. There's decent easing on everything that comes in. It's
The hand
pretty
bounce.
linear to do like the panning shot in the middle. That might have been better, eased a little bit more. But the hand bounce is nice, like Sam said as well. We thought that was good, but the design needs some help in terms of just choosing what colors to go where, so that you've got some nice contrast. Some things are blurred, other things aren't. You get some grayish kind of funky colors with some of these gradients, but I think there's good concepting and motion here, and you'll just really be helped by some design.
Also,
work.
question: the reflection on the table in the first shot, is that guy in prison?
Reflection.
Got a nice drink in prison. Yeah.
Oh, the shadow.
Yeah, this is what they do
Yeah.
in prison and wherever this is from. You know.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so much for submitting. We really got a good chuckle out of the concept. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, we
Thank you.
did.
This next one is from Mad Moon and got a 10. We thought some of these shots were really pretty, especially that beginning one.
Oh my
But the
gosh.
motion wasn't quite there on the beginning. And that's kind of the story for most of these scenes here. You've got like one thing that's doing well and another that's not doing as well. The motion on the last two is good, but like the design of them isn't as good as the first thing. It's more of just like a consistency thing. Yeah.
I want those
Anybody else
stairs
have
in my
thoughts?
house. Can I say that?
Crazy.
I want.
It'd be
I
pretty
want
expensive.
I think
blue
so.
and purple gradient floating stairs in my house. So
Yeah.
Not
you're
allowed
making
in
me
Kansas
realize this.
City. Sorry,
Yeah.
Jackson.
You're just hating.
Get right.
Fingers. Cool. Thank you, Mad
Again,
Moon.
we'll have these feedback written up for you this week. Check back on your submissions, and you'll see it there, so you can improve.
Oh my gosh,
That's
this
right. This one is by Kate and also got a 10. This is another example of just really funny way of interpreting the prompt. You know, it got an emotion out of us. You know,
Yep.
it's not just that the guy falls down the stairs, but you took the decision after falling down the stairs to have the ghosts come out also. You committed to your own bit, and we appreciate
Yeah.
that a lot.
Also, thought about parallax and stayed pretty consistent in the style, and that's appreciated.
You should notice, though, that the stairs in the back, despite us moving opposite directions in the front, it keeps going the same direction, which
Sure.
doesn't quite make sense. And this one lost some points on design. Contrast on the character wasn't super great, but some color work could be helpful. The texturing is nice, but it could be better if it was even slightly animated. So it's like boiling a little bit or something could be cool.
When he's squashed as he falls down, it feels a little strange to me. Like the squash is a little much. But again, funny stuff.
Full
Delightful.
rigor mortis setting in at the end, right
I
there.
love the rigor
real.
mortis at the end. That's so funny. All right, we
This
got
one
a
is
couple
Ooh.
more. Here we go.
Moro Racine and has 11 points. Also, just shout out to y'all that are putting effort into like the thumbnails of your shots as well. Some of them are really funny decisions that you make, and I appreciate that. I said this one got an 11, right? Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
this one
that's
got an
good.
11.
It got. Yeah. 11.
Yes,
It did get
we had a
11.
fun time with this one. The glows are nice. Design wise, we had a note where the end where it says bright probably could be brighter because you had some really nice glows on the other shots in here, we thought. But most of all, we wanted to give props to the perspective and either path animation or frame by frame that you did for the headset moving down. No, if you just go back to the beginning of the video, it'll play.
Yes. Yes.
Or maybe you'll have to refresh, I guess.
I might have to refresh.
But yeah, we thought this was fun. A good way of using some photography to your advantage as well. I think
That
it
looks
made
really
it
neat.
an interesting way of doing this like boiling animation. You know, no, you're gonna have to sort it.
Oh my goodness, y'all. Y'all can sort stuff on the challenges now. It's pretty exciting.
You can. And there we go.
There we go.
There it is, middle one. And there we go. I hope. Wow, your computer is not having a fun time with this right now.
I'm doing a lot of stuff at the same time.
You want to open a new tab, maybe?
Yeah, I'd love to open a new tab. That would be my favorite. I want to open it with a completely different browser. Switch it up on them a little bit, you know what I mean? Oh my gosh.
People in the chat are saying that they also wanted to kill their character off at the end.
It's gonna be trend. No.
Yeah. Mora says what to improve it. The ending shot could be brighter. That could be nice. We thought that we really liked the lines in the back at the beginning as well. That's a nice little touch.
And the pixelation on the
Pixelation was fun too. We liked that. Is Noah's just not loading now? You have to sort it, Noah.
I do forget that sometimes.
10 minutes left, by the way.
Yep.
Mhm.
We gotta keep on moving, but I want
We
to make
got it
sure it
going.
plays. There we go. Okay.
Nice.
He specifically asked for thoughts in the chat, so if you can give some feedback on
think
how this could be improved.
In terms of design, it suits it really well, but I would love that last frame to be a bit more like, it's almost like put it on and then release rather than calm down. It shouldn't, like, we shouldn't lose the cool shot. Like, we should have even more color in the final shot to kind of say, like,
I agree.
we're dark, we're putting it on, bam, 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 and it's a big moment at that end, but we kind of lose that because we just match cut down to just the very dark frame.
That's
Mhm.
true. We got 7
you
more
don't-
to get
yeah.
through.
We'll
quick.
do this.
I know.
Motion wise, maybe some more decisive easing. It feels a little floaty right now. Sorry, I said that because he specifically asked in the chat.
That's fine.
We can go at 1 minute per submission. It's our
All right,
time.
let's do it. This one is from Messick. It got an 11. We thought it matched with the sound very well, but it could have just used a little bit more design-wise, like some other elements or something. Pretty texturing and stuff, though. I'm assuming
I
this
love
whole
the
thing
spiral in the beginning,
was
especially.
frame by frame.
But touching
Mm-hmm.
Texturing is pretty
Achieving
cool.
easing in frame by frame is impressive. So
Easy
Agreed.
Achieving easy easing.
ease. This one got an 11, so keep it up.
And don't worry, we will write up feedback on the site as well. We just have to go quickly through these last few ones. This one is from Bwitty and got an 11 as well. Motion on this one, easing feels nice. We thought that was fun, though there are a couple times where it does get stuck and the momentum doesn't continue. Like whenever that thing spins around and turns into the flower, it could have been nice to just have that speed up at the end to turn into the flower rather than stopping there to then make the transition. Colors sometimes didn't quite make a whole lot of sense in terms of like which ones were put next to other ones. There might have been other better combos for that. But overall, we thought it was nice. If
Yeah,
a little
really
bit
pretty.
simple at times.
very
Solid.
satisfying.
Solid. I really like
5
some of
more,
those
let's go.
little transitions.
Next one is by Thazy, and this one got a 13.
This is
We got
strong.
the motion on this one was fun. The color palette we've seen a couple different times from other motion designers before, so we thought that could have been explored a little bit more. And then I think on the creativity side, you have some interesting compositions. Some of the other ones just had a little bit more narrative though, so it could have been nicer to have it like build into some sort of idea or something, especially because you have the word at the end and it doesn't necessarily seem like it relates to the other things that were done.
Mhm. Good job.
thank you
Well
so
done.
much, Daisy.
Well done,
That was
Daisy.
really cool.
Good job.
Is a cool one.
Oh,
This one is
I
from
love-
Leon.
Oh, this
It's
is
a
awesome.
13.
This
This
one is
one
amazing.
is really great. We had a little
I love
chuckle. The like call and response of, oh, this guy seems cool and chill, whatever, and then he just does this goofy little dance. Is just a really nice way to
I love
subvert
the character design
expectations.
a lot.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's fun.
and
And
the
I
way the light moves
That's
is
for
awesome.
sure. The understanding of the
colors, too,
lighting,
actually.
especially because it's frame by frame, is really nice. Like you get the reflections on the cheeks, and also this. It's just really, really nice understanding of lighting. But motion a little linear. It is frame by frame, so I understand that. But some of the other ones had some easing in that as well. But it is fun and decisive
love
and a
this.
good concept.
Really
Very
solid
nice.
concept.
Really cool.
That's a
Cool.
13 right there, brother. Good job. Keep it up.
All right.
Well
3
done,
more.
Leon. We've got O
3 to go.
Savage next. This
Oh,
one
the textures.
really pretty. really, really pretty. It's very high quality. There's nice texturing and grain on pretty much everything in here. The transitions were very thoughtful and interesting. To like put everything in this box rather than just like sliding things on and off screen was interesting. The bubbles are nice. I think feedback wise, things that could have improved this, the font at the end doesn't really feel like it matches the new skeuomorphism that you've got going on stylistically. So we didn't think that was a particular fit. And then Barbara, you had notes on the color or something yesterday? Right?
Sometimes like the blue blurred is a little.
Is it like getting more gray or something that you?
No, it's just like you can see the border, like where the shape actually ends.
I see.
On those dots, I can see what she means. It's not as blurred as the other blues.
I see.
And in the beginning shot as well, like here, you had a.
But a cool piece nonetheless. I get
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you were trying to do with the slider at the beginning as well. No, if you can start pulling up the next one. I get what you were trying to do with the slider as well at the beginning with like it stuttering up there to match the sound, but it just motion wise felt a little too sticky, you know? Could have been helped by like some overshoot or something each time that happened. So it didn't just feel like it stopped, you know? But a very, very good piece. Thank you, Osavage. This next one is from Pablo Motion. Unfortunately, this one could have scored higher. However, it is horizontal instead of vertical. But I believe we sent Pablo a message about that because his work has been really, really good, and we don't want to keep knocking him for that. The motion on some of these shots is really nice, but especially those like half circles on top of each other, but the match cuts aren't really followed through. Like especially there, where you've got that really pretty, interesting composition, it goes both directions, so it doesn't really feel like the match cut works because it's going in this very one-sided way from the half circles and then goes both directions on that one. It just doesn't really work there. The other small note, this one got a 13, by the way. The other small note on this one is that at the beginning, if you're going to have an object go up and toward the camera, you should be scaling your grid down away from it. So it feels like it's actually getting up and closer to the camera rather than like right now, it's kind of the opposite. It's like somehow we're going into the floor, but I don't necessarily know.
The object doesn't scale, but the grid does, and it feels a little bit strange.
It just feels a little odd.
Love the
Cool
style.
stuff though.
Very cool style.
It's
Love the
cool
color
stuff.
palette. Very, very nice. Let's
And
get
now,
to
Final
our
one.
final from Yonan. I'm gonna need you to
Yonan?
correct me on the pronunciation. But this one got a 14 on the leaderboard today.
we'll just watch
you
it a
go ahead
couple
and
times real quick.
Give it a play.
Oh my
Really, really fun.
And the
And I
ending,
like the use of a bunch of different styles. Like you've got 3D, 2D, collage. That's
And they mix well.
Gels together. That's the key
Yep.
part there. Is it's three different media formats or whatever we call them, and they gel together
agreed.
and they feel good.
The ending makes a lot more sense now that he said he was also going to have the guy die at the end. And that probably would have pushed it up a couple more points. But this one was our winner for today. There are some
Congrats.
things that could be improved, certainly, but this one was the winner. Congratulations, winner of Bright. Now, we do have to hop off in a sec to go to a meeting, but I did just want to say we have 2 challenges open right now. There is one called Tint. It's all about color. Do some fun, colorful stuff there. There are like 30 more slots in there. Join while you can. They're filling up pretty quickly. The other one is gaming. It's like Bright in the sense that we had a sound design studio make another sound effect for you, but that one is already more than half full. So hop in while you can. EasyEase.co. Sign up for free. See you in some submissions. Let's do
See
some
y'all.
challenges and stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thank
for
you guys so
hanging.
much. This
Good
is
job,
wonderful.
everybody.
You all are so
Good
talented.
job.
Well done,
everybody.
everybody.
Thank you guys.
Wait for the stream to catch up. And 3, 2, 1. Bye.
Bye-bye.
We're off.
All right.